A centuries-old Mexican tradition is taking place this weekend where a candlelit Mexican cemetery and chapel will represent the festival of Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, with a colorful representation and joy surrounded by traditional dances and altars. Joining us is Carissa Gutierrez with the Latino Center of Art and Culture on what guests can expect this weekend. Hello, Carissa, and I love your face painting you got on today.
Thanks, Desiree. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. Yeah, so as you mentioned, we actually kicked off last night a 4-day festival known here in Sacramento as El Panteon de Sacramento. It's our 12th year as the Latino Center of Art and Culture putting on this festival, and we're just so excited already. We're getting a lot of engagement and participation from our community, and it's just a way to keep our traditions alive.
I love that. And could you dive a little bit more? Can you tell us more? What is El Panteon de Sacramento for our viewers who might not know?
Of course. So El Panteón literally translates to the cemetery. And in many parts of Mexico and even Latin America, we celebrate and honor our ancestors by creating these altars and by going to these cemeteries to really convene as a community and celebrate death in life as well. So it's this one time of year where the dead and the living get to coexist. And I know some of us were introduced to that concept through movies like Coco or Book of Life. But really, this is a centuries old, if not thousands of years old tradition that continues to evolve based on what's happening in our communities. So here at the festival, we've captured certain elements of our own culture, as well as the Day of the Dead. You will see a cemetery, you see a chapel, and it's very customary during this time that in communities in Mexico, people go to the chapel, honor their loved ones, and then go to the actual cemetery. And they light incense, or what we call copal. There are offerings of food, there are offerings of beverages, there are offerings as well that include the items that our loved ones enjoyed. But the conversations that we see are sparked by going to this place between the grandparents, the children, and even their children as they discuss the culture and, what it was for them to kind of grow up in perhaps other countries, but be here in California is really something that inspires me.
And you mentioned this tradition has been going on for centuries, but it's been brought to Sacramento 12 years ago. What can guests expect this year, and are there any new additions that they can look forward to?
We continue to adapt, and so thank you for asking that question, because last year was very unique to any other year that we did this festival. In years past, we would have processions and parades through Midtown or other areas of Sacramento, but given the public health guidelines last year due to the pandemic, we actually created a drive-through situation. So there were cemeteries, there were altars, and families from all over the region were able to engage in a very safe way to do that. This year, now that most of us are vaccinated, and we are encouraging mask use as well at this event and social distancing, people will be able to literally walk through all of these different altars that were created by our community members, by families, and by other businesses as well. They're able to visit the cemetery. There are vendors from all over the region. There are performances by ballet folklorico groups, by other dancers. There's a poetry reading tonight too. Tomorrow there will be a procession as well. So we see so many different activities throughout the day. And yesterday and today, we launched at 6 p.m. We ended at 10 p.m. But over the weekend, people will have an opportunity to join us during the day, see the sunset with us, see the way the candles that light the cemetery completely create this very majestic feel there. And people are able to just enjoy what it feels for just a moment to be celebrating with us.
Oh, wow. This sounds like an amazing celebration. And what would you say makes a celebration so important to the Latino culture?
Oh my gosh, thank you for asking that. I think for many of us, we all experienced this to a certain level during the pandemic. It's that we were unable to see one another. We were asked to stay in place, and we did so, out of care for our community. But for many of the people that we serve here in Sacramento in this region, this is either the first generation to come to the United States or perhaps the first generation that is actually engaging with our community. So for a lot of us, our family members aren't directly here. They're in many, many other countries that we can't reach. And so these traditions tend to die off if we don't keep them alive and we don't celebrate them here. They're also a way for us to connect with our communities and where we come from. So the ability, it really wasn't a question of whether we were going to have this festival or whether we put on any of our programming. It's really a way to maintain our traditions alive and to maintain that connection to the places where we come from. And the ability to do that with our community allows us to feel more connected. It allows us to be able to share and be able to really celebrate with one another, especially after such a hard year and so much loss that we all experience. But beyond that, I mean, we get other people who join us as well who are not specifically Latino. And so sharing our traditions with other community members brings us great joy.
Oh, this is great. And it sounds like such a fun celebration. I'm glad that it's continuing to go on. Thank you so much. And I'm not sure if you guys know this, but it's ran by volunteers. So if you want to help out and partake in being a part of helping out or just attending, you can see all the celebrations at thelatinocenter.org.